terms of cybersecurity 3.0, I would like to talk on, or my experience, I would see that it takes on three key parameters to how we can control those or effective use of this cybersecurity 3.0 journey. Like, see, the first point, if I would say, like the dissolving perimeter, like in earlier times we say that we have a perimeter level security internal. So any architecture, when the designs happens in the network level of data center point of view, they say that okay, internal level of security and the perimeter level security, because separate firewalls will be placed and to protect those. So that has been dissolved now. So now, as people or the organization is moving into the cloud, and more workloads are getting into the cloud, and the hybrid cloud now happening, and most of the new startups or new organizations are completely starting from the cloud itself. So the cloud being a public cloud, we can't say if there's a perimeter we can build it. So only thing we can have is like whatever in setup we have, or whatever data we are hosting out there, how we can protect. So the perimeter level is gone over there. Second point, if you see that exponential use of technologies, artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotic process automation. So we can't define whether it is been a human interactions or the machine is interacting with us. So the calls or the mails, whatever we are getting, we can't differentiate whether it's a human or the machine. So we need to have a protection mechanism. We need to have an identification mechanism to see that whether what with whom we are talking to, with the machine or the human. And the third one, what I would see, like the use of IoTs. So earlier time we can see that we need to have a protection mechanism to be built in for computer, like antivirus, for network security firewall, for application web application firewall, all those things. So not only that, because that security, we need to take care of IoT device. Any device which is connected, which is having an IP, which is connected to the internet via IP. It can be now the technologies has gone far beyond, like the door, which is connected to an network, and it can be automatically opened. So everywhere this technology has built in. Or so IoT device, it can be a source of entry for the threat vectors. So the protection, the wideness of protecting the equipments has gone beyond traditional computer devices. So it is a, I would say it's a shift or the larger area any security professional to be looked on. So that is one of the key three key areas, I would say cyber security 3.0 need to be looked on. So to have this these three areas, how we can control. So there is a standard security framework built in, like we need to build a cyber resilience in terms of identification, protection, detection, respond, and the timely recover of this one. So how we can identify? So as I mentioned earlier, identifying the infrastructure assets or applications and the data. So these three key parameters we need to identify, and where all it is located. So we need to see that the threats that means the attempts or compromising attempts can happen any of these three parameters. So we need to properly identify, reduce shadow IT environment, and see that whatever assets we have, that has to be properly recorded. And so what do you know? So as everybody knows the term, like what you know, only what, then only you can protect. So we need to properly identify the assets, not only the infra application, as well as the final, the main point is data. Now we say that data is the new oil. Whoever having the data, they are the richest. So next point, we say that how we can protect those things. So we can't have the standard traditional protection mechanism to protect all these things. We have to evolve. We have to use the latest different type of technologies to protect this mechanism. Now the zero trust has come, so we can't have we need to identify uh, who need to give access, whether is a legitimate user. So risk-based authentication mechanisms, user behavior analysis mechanisms. So there are various technologies we have to bring into the system so that the environment is protected from various threat vectors. And for coming to the third point of detection mechanism, so how fast we can detect. So with the reason certain guidelines saying that any incident has to be reported within 6 hours. So traditionally the detection happens, it's a very long time. So how can we detect an incident? So the more means the earlier we identify an incident, and the damage will be very low. So we have to have the detection, improve our detection mechanism using creating multiple different use cases, customized use cases based on the latest trends, with the support of SIM integrations, XDR. So we can identify user behavior analysis, the logs analysis. So we need to have the same way different type of AI integration to get correlate all these logs and reduce the false positives and alert, which can be acted upon on the time. And the fourth point, if you see that response, how fast we can respond to an alert incident. See, most of the organization have a proper, there is a defined policy, procedures, everything will be there. But how we can see in case of incident, who need to act what? That is the most challenging point. Many of the organization find it. So conducting periodic tabletop exercise, familiarizing like some sampling the attack format like ransomware, data leakage, all those things. So that will help the organization to respond quickly for an incident and reduce the impact of any damage. And the final one, we can say that the recovery process, how fast we can recover this from any of cyber incidents. So we need to see whether we have a proper backup. So organizations are keeping the backup in that. So now they see in the latest ransomware threats, if you see that they are in the dormant stage for months. So they are, I know that see, missions, organization are taking multiple types of backups. So they are infecting these backups, and on a period of time, all the organization backups got infected. And when they tried, the attack happens, they trigger the attack. Even when you try to bring up the backup data, the we can't recover. So we have forced, the organization will be forced to pay. So we need to see that whether the backup whatever we have is an immutable backup, so that nobody can override or damage the system. And we have different periods of data backup, and that is being tested. Eventuality we have to test and use to recover the or bring up the organization to its normalcy. So these are the key points in my view. Cybersecurity 3.0 takes to be taken up.